And we move forward now to episode 9. Here it is, guys. This movie is happening at the end of the year. We are thrilled. December 20th, we are going to order our tickets as soon as we possibly can. But what is the message of this trailer that we firmly believe now we will get at Star Wars Celebration? Because they didn't give it to us in November. They didn't give it to us in December. They ignored the Super Bowl. They've ignored basically every day between now and The Last Jedi and Solo. Sometimes we don't talk about Solo. But what is the message of this trailer? And I went back recently and watched the first teaser / trailer of Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And I guess I was surprised because the first Phantom Menace, or the first Force Awakens one, minute 38, first Last Jedi was 2:12. And I don't think we're getting a true teaser at Star Wars Celebration because they've held on to this for so long. I think we're getting like a 2-minute something. I don't know how much story we'll get, but we're going to get more than just like a 30-second, like, here's a look at Rey. Here's a look at Han. Here's TIE fighters coming in the sun. Here's Kylo Ren igniting a lightsaber in the forest that we're not actually going to see in the movie. So what are we going to see here in this trailer? Jesse, I'd like to start with you. What is the message the Episode 9 first trailer needs to convey?
You know, I've been really thinking on this because, I mean, that first trailer with The Force Awakens, you get that deep, can you feel it, kind of thing. And then, the whole breathing sequence with The Last Jedi. I kind of feel that's kind of the theme. I think we're going to get something along those lines to kind of kick off this trailer.
Similar to breathing? What does that mean?
Well, no, just kind of like something dealing with the Force in the sense of, at first it's sensing it. And it seems it's sensing something. Can you feel it? And then and then in the movie, Luke is having Rey reach out. Can you feel, so I feel like that's where I feel, it's just like, I feel like that's where a reoccurring theme that we'll see probably with 9. Again, I'm still kind of hoping for, I don't know, just not really sure what to expect anymore because, again, you mentioned we haven't gotten anything. We're coming down to the wire. Celebration is literally 2 weeks away. What are we going to get?
I think it's interesting that you went the direction of feeling the Force as this tangible thing because I did not think of that once. And at first I was like, I don't think Jesse understood the question that I posed. But it's actually really accurate about how, while there's been some frustrations about the Force not being as prevalent, it's actually all been about the Force in a way.
Yeah.
And that first one is that the Force has blossomed again. And then, like you said, here we go in The Last Jedi. It's about understanding the balance. And so it's Star Wars. I feel like there should be a Force theme. It's the saga film. It's not a side shoot. But I always looked at The Force Awakens as this is familiar. Nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've been to this place in the galaxy before. And then when we got to The Last Jedi, it was not about, in this first trailer now, it wasn't yet kill the past if you must. It was about understanding the balance of the Force and the Jedi must end as a shocker.
The interesting flip side, what if we kind of maybe get almost like a narration kind of thing from Kylo?
The voiceover?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Now we're getting... Yeah, he's kind of in charge of the First Order now.
But I don't want to look at it as what we are going to get. What are the themes? I'm mentioning nostalgia and familiarity with the first one. I'm talking about the theme, kind of the destruction of what you've known in The Last Jedi. What is the message that we're going to get with this last one? Is it of hope? Is it of despair? What is the emotion that will trigger with this first trailer?
I got a flip of a coin because I think they're going to take one of two approaches, personally.
Okay.
I think we're either going to get something about how we've lost hope. We had hope. We thought we were going to get hope back with Luke Skywalker. It's gone. Now, where do we go from here? So potentially for a lost hope, which would bring us full circle from A New Hope back in 77.
Ooh, a lost hope.
Something like that.
Oh.
Now, I don't think that'd be a good name for the movie because the movie's got to end on a happy note, or at least
right.
Things going forward, or else everybody's going to be upset.
Well, it's definitely not called Porg Adventure.
Mm-hmm. I think the other alternative that we could get is either a Kylo voiceover or a Rey voiceover talking about how the end is near, building this gravitas that the universe will never be the same once this 2.5-hour movie is done.
Episode 9 Endgame, yeah.
So we could have like Kylo saying, the end is almost here. I've almost done it. What my grandfather couldn't, what the Sith couldn't, and here we are standing, upon my victory, if you want to, quote Krennic from Rogue One. Or you could take that the other direction, and it could be Rey saying, we're fighting an uphill battle. The universe has changed. This is our last opportunity, because if not, we are doomed to an existence of oppressive rule, and this is our last stand. So I think they needed something to build up the gravitas that this is going to be a real humdinger, and at the end of this movie, everything will be changed. And, of course, it's got to end on a good note.
So are you thinking that it's going to kind of kick with kind of like an emotion of despair, ending with
Hope
and whatnot, and
potentially? I don't even know if I'd go with despair. I would maybe use the word desperation. If Rey's gonna do, if a good guy's gonna do a voiceover, it's got to be desperation. Like we are throwing us all in one last time, and we're either gonna die or come out victorious. Or it could be Kylo saying, I've done it. We've been successful. There's just one little holdout left, and what can they do compared to our might? And go from there. So
I'm thrilled to where this conversation went, and I guess what I'm hoping for is it needs to set the tone of the movie. I feel I don't think it has to give any plot details away, but I feel like kind of to mimic The Last Jedi, and again thinking this is J.J. Abrams doing it, not so much what Ryan did, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of like a dark kind of I don't want to say rebirthing, but like a phoenix. It's like it got as bad as it possibly could have been. Here's how we're calling them rebels again. At the end of Last Jedi, they were the rebels again. They have been reborn like a phoenix, and so it's going to be exciting to me to see how that's translated. I wonder if it's going to be like the jump cuts that we got, where it's like here's a flash of this person, a flash of this person, a flash of this person. We have leaked images of new costuming and new characters. We don't want to show that up here, but you can find that online. Somehow we're going to have to reintroduce everybody in the sense of giving you that idea that it got as bad as it possibly could have been, but a lot has changed in the year now since the last movie occurred. So going to be super interesting to see how it plays out. Want to know what you're thinking in the live chat. David, anyone saying anything about this?
Yeah, we got a nice conversation between Gannon136 and Timothy Dunlap. Gannon's really vocal in there. He's talking about how costumes need to be light and flexible because he wants to see a lot of action in the trailer in episode 9 altogether. So I guess it wants to be like down gritty, kind of like a war movie. Real Farm Boy says, whatever it's going to be, it'll be something new, which, that's kind of what we're hoping for out of a new movie. He's also saying that it's got to be something that hasn't been done before, which, Star Wars needs to take some risks because they've been a little conservative lately, and some of the risks that they have taken have not necessarily gone over well with the fan base.
It's like making the right kind of risk, which is unfair for us to say and ask of the director, right? But there were clearly some risks that were taken in The Last Jedi that felt outside of the rules of Star Wars. So it'll be interesting to see what JJ does. Again, I think a lot of people feel this way. This is going to be more of a sequel to The Force Awakens. I don't think it's going to touch upon a lot of what was discussed in The Last Jedi, which ultimately I think will make this trilogy lack cohesiveness. And I will be fascinated to see how fans look at that trilogy as a whole once you have it out, and then you compare it to the originals, and then you compare it to the prequels, because for me, and it's just because I want to know what the creator wanted to do ultimately. For me, it's always going to be OT, prequels, and then the sequel trilogy. But it will be interesting to see how it plays out because of how we think that J.J. Abrams will play it out. I want to see a lot of lightsaber battles. I want to see lightsaber blades touching lightsaber blades. We got none of that in Episode 8. And we got little of that, although that snow sequence, that snow duel at the end between a injured Kylo and a fearful Rey was a great duel. We just haven't gotten a lot of it. So I want to see, 3 or 4 battles. Let's Revenge of the Sith this thing, okay? All over the place, lightsaber battles, So again, if you have any thoughts on this, you want to contribute to our conversation, continue that ongoing Star Wars conversation, let us know down in the comments below in the live chat. You're listening on podcast form. By the way, you can leave a review of our show. Let other people know what you think about our show. If you're listening on SoundCloud, you can actually comment below the audio file and let us know what you think. So no matter where you're at, if you're watching or listening, you're able to contribute.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.